I don't care. He's got that reputation, right? And I think that that's the interesting thing about a vertical market is that when you target a vertical market, you do great work. It's like every vertical is like a village, right? There's
Mm,
it's relatively small. Everyone kind of knows everyone else. Everyone's like 1 degree of separation. And when you do great work and you repetitively in a vertical market, word spreads. You have this wonderful word of mouth and you get wonderful referrals. There's this thing in business called the day one list. Have you
day
heard of
one.
this? The day
No,
one list? So
no.
Harvard Business Review did an article and a research project around researching how businesses buy. What they found is that 80 to 90% of businesses have a day one list, which is they have a short list of businesses who they're going to interview to see who to hire for for the project. If you think
Okay.
about, like, for instance, if you were going to go and buy a car, you're probably not going to go test drive 40 different cars. You probably today have an idea of maybe a small handful of cars that you would test drive before you
Sure.
made the purchase. You may already know what car you want, right? Same thing is true in the business context. Businesses have a short list of options that they want to interview and they want to look at. So the challenge for any business is how do I get on that short list? There's two,
Oh,
right? How
I
do I get?
like that.
There's two ways to get on the day one list. Oh, and by the way, 90% of the businesses buy or hire a company on the day one list. So it is a
Right.
very valuable list to be on.
That's huge to think of it that way. And I mean, when you think about your buyer's journey and where they're going, they're doing all the pre-research. They're
Yeah,
they're they're prepared when they put their RFP out,
yeah, exactly.
to interview, and they're going after their short list. And if you're
That's
lucky
right.
to be on, you've already checked off a lot of boxes. They're just kind of
Correct.
going through the motion of do they like you or not, right?
Correct. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, I like that.
So there's
Okay.
two ways. There's two ways to get on the day one list. They've worked with you before, or or you've been referred to them by someone else who they
Pretty
trust.
powerful. That's pretty powerful. And if you haven't worked with them before and someone hasn't referred them, then you're probably a pretty shiny, sparkly unicorn that's just popped up on their
Dang.
radar. But I mean, they
Right.
have to have already heard about you.
Correct. To consider
Wow.
you. So the way to be referred is to leverage this social networks that exist within a vertical market, do great work, and make sure that people are talking about you. And
Mm.
beauty again of these vertical markets is they have these natural places where people congregate. Right, you go to the annual conferences, you go to the associations, you have online forums. My wife is a psychiatrist. Okay, guess where she spends her free time? On the mom's psychiatry network on Facebook. It's like a private group,
Wow.
right? They all talk about psychiatry things and being a mom and so on and so forth. So these networks are natural, they're naturally occurring. People congregate around their own vertical market, and that's what you want to infiltrate as a vertical specialist.
Mm. Wow, this we didn't even get into the juicy stuff here of how do you do all of that,
I
because I
know.
know that's what's burning on people's mind. But looking at the
Yes.
clock, I'm thinking, okay, we got about 5 minutes left here.